You're looking pretty there, Mark.
Just because I can't see. Want me to just run this one?
Is Commissioner Callahan, Commissioner Fisher up at the courthouse? I thought he was.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get him on.
So I guess that's a no.
I'm sure that's a no.
Okay.
Jason, can you hear us? Maybe Jason isn't on yet either. I know Jim was up there. You're on mute, Jim.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse my tardiness. I had a little malfunction with the ITs getting going, so we are available here now. I will take roll call. I have myself present, Eric Mankins present, Vice Chairman Dan Callahan present, John Reardon present, Justin Fortune present. Guest or Sean Fredrickson. I will call to order the Public Works Committee meeting for February 24th, 2021 at approximately 6:35 p.m. Communication number 1 is 2020-402. Michelle Shea, District 2 Commissioner, requesting Council of Commissioners concurrence to place this communication in the Public Works Committee to review the traffic calming methods around the Whittier School area. Many citizens have expressed concern about the safety of the children in this area. I don't see Commissioner Shea on here. Does anyone have any comments or questions about communication 2020-402? Seeing no communication from the committee, this communication just requests that we review the traffic calming methods, and we had the presentation. So at this time, I think it would be best that we either note and place on file this communication. I see no reason to hold it in abeyance or no reason to put it in a suspense file. If Commissioner Shea decides to follow through in a different method, I think she would be wise to just submit another communication, because we have reviewed this one, and I think it's time to put this one to rest. Any questions or concerns about my opinion? I would like for someone to make a motion to put communication 2020-402 to note and place on file. Vice Chairman Mankins, would you like to make that motion?
Thank you, Chairman Fisher. Yeah, I would like to make that motion to note and place communication number 2020-402, note and place on file.
Second.
We have a proposal to note and place communication 2020-402 on file. Are there anything on the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising the thumb.
Aye.
I see everyone is in support of that. The vote is 6-0 in favor of noting and placing on file communication 2020-402. Thank you. We will now move to communication number 2, communication 2020-139. Brendan McDonough, Commissioner District 8, requesting Council Commissioners to consider the speed study be conducted by the Montana Department of Transportation on Highway 2 from 9 Mile to Pipestone Pass within the upcoming recreational season approaching. I ask that a study and decision be made in a timely manner to address the safety concerns for this spring and summer. As you know, this has been on here for a while, and we have extended the boundaries to go out towards Three Bears and back towards where Highway 2 intersects with there by the what used to be the VOTEC, now the South Campus of Montana Tech. I see we have Director Neary on board. Director Neary, staff report, please.
Thank you, Chairman Fisher. There's nothing to report on this still. It's in the MDT's basket of things to do, but once they start the study, they just said they would keep us informed. But as of right now, I have nothing to report.
Thank you, Director Neary. Do any of the committee members have any questions for Director Neary or myself, or any recommendations what to do with this communication? I believe at one time we had an idea from Commissioner Callahan to put this in the suspense file, and we had another that was suggested to just hold it in abeyance. So, Vice Chairman Mankins, I see you had your hand up.
So Director Neary, so when do you expect, I know this is the hard question, but when do you expect that we're going to hear something back? It seems like each month you usually meet something going on, but do we have to wait till the snow is melted, or is the study going to happen anytime soon?
Thank you, Commissioner Jenkins. We're meeting every other month now. That's why it's tough to get any updates, but I reach out to Joe Walsh in between meetings to see if there's anything coming up. Now, with all their traffic studies, I mean, this goes clear back to the crosswalk on Harrison Avenue. The roundabouts, even on over, by Stodden, the everything in their hopper is to go, but it moves at a snail's pace, especially with COVID. They really did, a lot of the work was done remote, so I don't have any idea when it'll be done.
Commissioner Mankins.
So in good faith, I made that recommendation to hold this, but seeing that the Highway Department and Mr. Walsh, as Mr. Neary has stated, moves at a snail pace, I would like to go with the recommendation of Commissioner Callahan and put this in the suspense file. So I'd like to make a motion for communication number 2020-139 to be put in the suspense file on the recommendation of or with Commissioner Callahan.
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Mankins. Would you like to put it in for 45 or 90 days, or what kind of a term would you like to put that in the suspense file for? Usually 45 or 90 days is somewhere in that neighborhood, and I'm not sure what you'd want to do here.
With Director Neary's recommendation, what do you think, 45 or 90? Or a snail's pace?
Director Neary, please.
Thank you, Chairman Fisher. Commissioner Mankins, I would say 45 days.
Commissioner Mankins?
Thank you, Chairman Fisher, and I would like to make that substitute motion along with it for a 45-day in the suspense file.
Thank you, Commissioner Mankins. Commissioner Callahan on the question, please.
Yeah, I would just like to make a suggestion, and I'm assuming that's how they do it anyway, Mark, but wouldn't it be best if they do the study during the summertime when we have the most activity out there? When people are riding their bikes and we have a lot more traffic because people are out doing things, that we'll end up with a way better results of our study, or maybe somebody else could add something to that.
Commissioner Callahan, you're probably right to do it later in the summer, but I think whenever they can do the study is going to be beneficial. I think we don't want to put them off because then we might end up another year down the road. I was just thinking 45 days gets you into spring. It should be here, or our second winter, whatever we want to call it. But yeah, I think 45 days would be sufficient.
Okay.
Thank you, Director Neary. Also, thank you, Commissioner Callahan. And I think it was in the interest of Commissioner McDonough at the time. I mean, this goes back, it requested with the upcoming recreational season. And I think Commissioner Callahan, you'll recall, this might have been last recreational season. It may have been the one before, but we're not quite certain. So I think with all interests at heart, if we were to put it in a suspense file for 45 days, at that time we would bring it up and visit about it. Then we could extend the 45 days or at that time see what's going on with it. So there's a motion on the floor at this time to put communication 2020-139 in the suspense file for 45 days. The motion was made by Vice Chairman Mankins, and I did not hear a second. I think there was one out there. A second by Commissioner Callahan. Thank you. So we will place communication 2020-139 in the suspense file for 45 days. Any questions or concerns on 2020-139? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'm going to tell you I won't be at the next Public Works meeting, which will be 2 weeks away. Next Wednesday, I will be going through a total replacement of my shoulder, and Commissioner Mankins is the Vice Chairman of the Public Works Department, so he will be following up on I believe it'll be the 10th of March will be the next Public Works meeting. And at that time, Commissioner Mankins, I think you will be here at the courthouse to chair that meeting. I may be following from a distant part, but per my requirements after the surgery, I don't think I'll be doing much moving the first week after. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Oh, excuse me. Wait a minute, Commissioner Callahan has a question.
I think Mr. Neary had his hand up, Mark. Jim.
Director Neary, please.
Thank you, Chairman Fisher. Just because that communication gets put into the suspense file, I can still report on it, right, at the committee meetings, or does it have to be, like they might call me next week and say, hey, the study's coming up. Do we have to resurrect it out of the suspense file before we can talk on it, or can I report on it at the Public Works Committee meetings?
Thank you, Director Neary. It's my understanding with that not being on the agenda, at that time, myself or Vice Chairman Mankins would ask Barb Davies, our Council Secretary, to pick that out of the suspense file and put it on the agenda for the Public Works meeting. As you know, we get scolded by the county attorney if we start talking about things that aren't on the agenda. So
Okay.
if you do have a report, I would recommend you contact me, if it be me or Vice Chairman Mankins, and find out what's going on, and we can easily get Barb to pull that in the suspense file prior to the 45 days if needed. But
Okay.
definitely in 45 days, that should pop up on the screen, and Barb will have it back on the agenda at that time. So
Okay, thank you.
you bet. Any more questions or concerns? Yes, Commissioner O'Neill.
Thank you, Chairman Fisher. I just want to make sure you got me in on the roll call. I don't know if you missed me. I want to make sure I get the, I don't want to get the F on the thing. And if you need any ice when you get that shoulder done, let me know too, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Neill. I appreciate that. And I do have you on here. And were you here to see that I was tardy tonight? I was a little late on this.
I will be the last one to ever let you know that. I'm going to tell you, every time I'm early for work, I remember the fish for the rest of my life. I'm going to remember Jim Fish when I'm going to work. So I appreciate it.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you all here in a short time, and best wishes here in the next evening. So good night for now. Oh, excuse me. Did we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good evening.